Peacemaker flopped. Gotta call a flop what it is. Yes, Peacemaker, season 2. That amazing series that James Gunn spent all of his time and money into promoting, even more than Superman. Peacemaker season 2 isn't doing too good when you look at the ratings though. Because it's easy to say, oh, it flopped because it didn't do great with the ratings, or it's not being talked about on the internet as much. It's not being discussed. It's superficial. I had callers call in, say how they're upset with the season. They're disappointed with the season. Oh, they think the season is mid. They give it a C. They think it's whack. Whatever it may be. No one is just single-handedly just praising this season outside of the James Gunn fans, you know, basically occulting themselves. But if you're talking about the ratings, because that's really what matters here. They say that, oh, it went up 22% with the ratings, which is falsehood. Who made that up? There's one major tool that we use to measure actual ratings of television series and streaming services, whether it's on TV or whether it's through a streaming box, even YouTube, and it's Nielsen. Nielsen is the company that actually rates these television series and stuff like that, and we go by their rubric. And when we look at what's actually happening here into the September 1st through September 7th, that week, Wednesday, was killing it with the #1 slot. There is 3,338 there. So it's and these are actually views in the millions. So I think that's, what is that? 300 million, 338 million minutes. These are minutes watched in millions, okay? Then you have #2 is My Life with the Walker Boys, The Summer I Turned Petty, The Terminal Dark List, Dark Wolf, #4, Katrina, Miss Rachel, good old Miss Rachel. My daughter watches that. Miss Rachel is at #6. The Great British Baking Show with 395 million minutes watched in that week. Coming in at #8 is NCIS Tony and Ziva spinoff series at 371 million minutes watched. Alien Earth coming out at #9, and #10 is a new series called The Paper. It's on Peacock, right? 10 episodes, 1 season, 342 million minutes watched. 342 million minutes watched is what it took to be in the top 10. Guess what? Did you guys notice something that's not there? That big, hyped up, amazing Peacemaker season 2. Where are you? Oh, while they're telling you that Peacemaker season 2 went up 20% from season 1 and it's good, it's really not. Because here is a Peacemaker television series from HBO Max with all the marketing, with all of the promotion from James Gunn. He promoted Peacemaker more than he promoted Superman. He even put Peacemaker things in the Superman movie with the Pocket Universe. He even took, believe it or not, he even took Superman out of theaters early and threw it to streaming. For what reason? Just so you can get ready to watch Peacemaker. And people don't like it. The ratings are bad as far as critics and what they think. The fans are like confused, and it's like whatever. And people that did like it, some of them can't even tell you what it was about because it's mind-numbing, crazy, goofy, balloony stuff. Found out that he wanted to put Deadpool in Peacemaker. Wow, that's crazy, but I can see it happening. But you're missing from the top 10. I understand not making top 1, 2, or 3, but a new series promoted by James with all this heavy promotion for a new DCU, and you can't crack the top 10, and you lose out to the Great Britain Baking Show? You lose out to The Paper? What the hell is that? More people are interested in Alien than they are in Peacemaker. The truth is, people just don't give a shit about Peacemaker, and they're not watching it either. But take a look, 342 million minutes. Go ahead and find out what that is by bringing up the calculator. Bring up the calculator here, guys. There's the calculator. 342 million minutes, okay? Let's divide that by 60 for an hour-long show, by 60 minutes. That equals 5.7 million hours. Now, this is a very rough way of doing it. Let's just say that it's an hour-long show, and we have the number here, 5.7 million hours. So an hour-long show, let's say that 1 hour equals 1 view of 1 whole episode. So this is a very inflated number. 5.7 million hours does not equal 5.7 million views, guys. Because the truth of the matter is, what really counts as a view? So I had to go into that and actually do a little bit of research and look that up to see what actually counts as a view, especially when you're talking about streaming series. A streaming view varies by platform, but it generally requires a minimum duration of watching or clicking an ad. For example, Netflix counts a view after 70% of a show is watched, while Hulu requires only 10% or 3 minutes for a show to be watched. YouTube counts views for ads and they're watched for a certain amount of time, like 10 seconds, or the viewer clicks an ad. So Netflix counts a view when 70% of a show or movie is watched. So every streaming service has its own guidelines by what they report and count as a view. Netflix has a really high threshold. Netflix says you need to watch 70% of a TV show or movie before we even count it as a view. So 70%, let's say it's 100 minutes, right? 90 minutes, 100 minutes, 70 minutes. So you're going to watch an hour and a half of this movie. You're going to watch 80 minutes, about an hour and 10 minutes of this movie for us to even count this as a view for an hour and a half movie. That's pretty solid. You look at Hulu, Hulu's way different. If you watch 10% of a show, so if it's a hour-long show, if you watch 6 minutes of it, oh, guess what? They're counting it as a view. You watched it. So you could watch 7 minutes of a show and be like, man, that shit weak. Click off. They still counted you as a view. That is being reported to Nielsen. Facebook is different, but I wanted to dive into some of the specific stuff. I want to say, well, if Netflix does it this way, Hulu does it this way, what does HBO Max do? So let's go ahead. A streaming view is counted each time a user plays a program with limits on simultaneous streams per subscription plan, such as 2 devices for the basic ads plan and 4 for the premium plan. So if you have 2 different TVs with HBO Max playing on them both, they'll limit you at 2 views per household. So say your uncle is in the living room watching Peacemaker and your best friend is in his room watching Peacemaker, they'll give your house 2 view counts. But that's not most people, right? Let's just say 1 person per household is watching Peacemaker. You see what they count? They're not even wanting 10%. They don't want 2%. They don't want 3 minutes. If you click on it, if you play a program, if you play the program, it's counting your view. As soon as you click Peacemaker and you open it up, they've already counted your view. Regardless if you freaking click it and be like, oh yeah, the NBA game is on. Click away. They counted your view. And with that being said, knowing that you could just click on some shit, your baby auntie could just be like, swipe, what's it? They're counting your view. And even with that low threshold, you still cannot crack top 10 for sure. You still can't crack top 10 when you counting views at open up the app, open up the show. Oh, we got you. You still ain't being on the top 10. You still losing to the paper, to Miss Rachel. Hi, everybody. Hi, friends. Oh, what's this? This is my phone. What color is the phone? That's right. It's a blue phone. Would you like more? We can play more. Yay. Y'all lost to Alien Earth, The Paper, The Great British Baking Show. Y'all lost to a bunch of bad teeth white people from the UK cooking scones. An hour-long baking scones. More people watching that than Peacemaker. And the sad thing about it all is that we don't know how far down on the list you are, Peacemaker, because I'm willing to bet you're not 11th, you're not 12th, you're not 13th, you're not 15th. How far down are you? The simple fact you can't, that lets me know Peacemaker's a flop, guys. We're talking about a flop that HBO didn't even put out the Nielsen ratings, taking it out of theaters by taking promotion from Superman and giving it to Peacemaker, from shorting the checks of every worker, producer, PA, DP, everybody that worked on that, taking and cutting their checks short just so you could promote something that your inner weirdness is obsessed with. Is crazy to me. Get this man out of here, bro. Now that we see that Superman underperformed, while it still did okay, it underperformed. I thought it was $750 million was the threshold for me. It didn't make 7, didn't make 650, it barely made 6. This is an underperformance. Superman underperformed. People loved it though. Peacemaker not only underperformed, but it also seems like people ain't liking it. So we're not doing so good under the James Gunn tutelage. I think that you should be removed from head of studio. Still work for DC and make your money and make your movies, but bro, you are not it. Nobody gives a shit about Peacemaker, but that's not enough. Some of you guys may need a little bit more sauce for the cooking. Let's go ahead and compare, because you're like, oh, well, Jody, maybe streaming services just don't do well at all across superhero movies. Okay, cool. Are you guys familiar with Agatha All Along? Yes, I didn't watch it. That bullshit, a spin-off of WandaVision. What we're about to watch is Agatha's Numbers, which is a spin-off of a Disney Plus series. Are you guys ready to see some numbers? Let's go there. Agatha All Along was received well. A strong premiere that garnered 426 million views. The premiere got 426 million views alone. There's something that I need you guys to know that I glossed over. When we look at the Nielsen ratings here, right? This is for the week of September 1st to September 7th. Let me give you some more damage. Not only is Peacemaker not here, but of the week of September 1st to September 7th, there were 3 episodes available to be watched. Why does that matter, you're saying? Jody, what does it matter if there was 3 episodes? It's week by week. They're only counting it weekly. Wrong. They count the whole series per week. So if there's 7 episodes, they count all of the episodes for each and every week. So this is the ratings for 3 episodes of Peacemaker, and it still didn't hit top 10. And we know for a fact that 3 episodes of Peacemaker on the week of September 7th to the September 1st to the 7th is that it didn't even hit 342 million views, because that's what the paper got. And if we can admit and see that Peacemaker, 3 episodes worth, counting the ratings and the views of all 3 episodes that week, still didn't make 342 million. And we look at and we see what WandaVision, what Agatha All Along did. Agatha did 426 million in a day. That's not premiere week. That's the premiere, which is 3 days. I think they count the premiere as 3 days. That weekend, 3-day premiere, 426 million views from 1 episode. As my dog Erdem gives 20 gifted subscriptions to Jody's Corner. Thank you so very much, Erdem, for show. I'm not done cooking. We got numbers. Look at week 1, 426 million. Where'd it land? Top 10. Number 8, guys. It landed number 8. Wait a minute. 426 million views landed it in the top 10 at number 8. 426 million views. If we look at it now, if 426 million views hit this ranking, it would take Miss Rachel out of the number 6 spot. So effectively, we see that Agatha had more competition than Peacemaker did. Peacemaker had less competition because for the same amount of views, Agatha only hit number 8 when she came out. But if those same numbers dropped during the Peacemaker week, she would have got number 6. So now we see that Agatha was going against thicker competition, got more views with 1 episode than Peacemaker. Agatha All Along. Would you believe that shit? Peacemaker didn't even scratch the tits of Agatha All Along, a Disney Plus spin-off of a spin-off series cooking Peacemaker. And Agatha All Along had very minimal promotion, had a couple of trailers, and just came out and dominated. And Peacemaker, this motherfucker James Gunn spent every waking hour of every waking wink of his Twitter and his Threads account and his interviews talking about Peacemaker, and threw my Superman out of theaters into the freaking wilderness just for Peacemaker to not scratch the top 10 and to get cooked by Agatha All Along. Let's keep cooking. How bad does it get for you? Week 2, 365 million views. Week 2 still got more views than the first 3 episodes of Peacemaker. Week 4 got 310 million views. Got more views than all of the episodes of Peacemaker. Week 5, 410, and a big boom, a season high of 744 million people watched the season finale of Peacemaker. Ain't nobody talking about the finale of Agatha. 744 million watched Agatha? What were people talking about Peacemaker? What were those numbers? HBO's not promoting them. HBO's not releasing them. HBO not talking about them. When a company doesn't release streaming numbers, that's because that show did poorly. That's the only reason. Because when it does well, look what we did. Look at that. Remember when Superman came out the first week and made like 200 million? The motherfucker Man at the Top, Zaslav. Superman's a big hit. I just want to say it was hard work. I would like to take credit for this. I would like to say Superman is big. Superman is great. Superman. Crickets for Peacemaker. You can hear it. Crickets. Mother freaking crickets. Peacemaker was an abysmal flop, and it's not even a quality series. And we had to sit back and watch you talk about this for 8 weeks while not discussing Supergirl. Supergirl comes out in less than a year. Less than a year. And we ain't got a trailer, a snippet, a on-set, a Entertainment Weekly, a nothing. Green Lantern. Lanterns are coming out in 5 months. We ain't got a trailer. We ain't got nothing. No Batman 2 news. No Clayface news. Nothing. Because you're kiboshing all of the other projects. You're kiboshing promoting Supergirl, Clayface, Batman 2, freaking Wonder Woman and Teen Titans. Because of your bullshit bitch-made Peacemaker, you freaking weirdo James Gunn, you. Break Peacemaker, dog. Break James Gunn. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get this man out of here. You got cooked by Agatha. Missed top 10. Low views. Views so low, they won't even report it. Didn't even come up on Nielsen's top 10. What I want Nielsen to do is see if you could just dig down and get those numbers so we can see them and laugh together. To see how few people give a shit about Peacemaker, my nigga. But you know what people do care about? They care about actual A-list heroes. Even B-list heroes, you know, like Superman. Nobody cares about your erotic, dark, twisted fantasy that you want to jizz on the screen because you have some psychological ego complex, middle-aged, divorcee, wannabe punk rocker attitude, bro. You playing with stuff that people care about. You're supposed to be making DC happy for us. You're supposed to be making us entertained. This is not entertaining. This is not, there's so many projects that are greenlit and you're scrapping things. You lied on me about Waller being shelved. I was right. You lied and said I was wrong. You're a liar. Apologize, homie. Say you were wrong. You'll never do that because you're not a freaking man. I called your Waller series out because I knew about it. And you lied to the audience, to millions of people, said I didn't know what I was talking about. You're a liar. I don't believe shit that you say. Nobody should, because you want to promote this goddamn Peacemaker. And guess what, guys? Bank on it. In the next 2 weeks, we're going to get DCU news that's not about Peacemaker, because now he'll open the floodgates and let all the other DC properties eat now. He was starving everyone by holding his arms around the dinner table. Now that he ate all of his Peacemaker, he'll be like, all right, now you eat. He's like John Goodman in that skit of Family Guy, bro. Roseanne. All right, you guys can eat when I'm done, but you're never done. Ugh. Just selfish. I'm about to open the phone lines, bro. I want to hear from these James Gunn cocksuckers, bro. I want to hear y'all talk something now. I want to hear y'all James Gunn cocksuckers talk now. Let's talk. Whew. We went over the news. Peacemaker's a flop. Bad views. Can't crack top 10. Got cooked by Agatha all along. 805-351-2001. Now that the numbers are out, we could call it an official flop because the ratings was down. Also, like I said, the season premiere only got 700,000 views for a week. The season premiere of season 2 had 700,000 views for the week.
Call from
Jake.
Jake from State Farm.
Yes, sir. What's good, Jody? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. James Gunn trash. And so is Peacemaker.
Here's the thing. I know you wanted someone that comes here as a James Gunn lover. I'm not that.
It's okay.
I didn't, even during the Marvel times, I wasn't a fan. And I will say I've seen a lot of James Gunn stuff. I mean, if anyone here has played the game Lollipop Chainsaw, it's the exact crass humor, nudity, all about innuendos. That's always been his thing. I think that game came out in 2011, maybe 2012. So he's the gooner that everyone comes and knows him to be. I'm someone who actually enjoys Ragnarok. I thought Love and Trash was pretty good. I know those aren't his movies.
You like Love and Trash?
So yeah, actually genuinely enjoyed it. And this is, I know you have a bunch of fans, but I'm someone who's been subscribed to you for a long time.
That says a lot.
I have freaking Justice League. Yeah, for sure, man. I have Justice League symbols tattooed on my knuckles. So I'm really when it comes to DC, I'm 100% there. I love them. I really like what James Gunn did with Superman, but I think Superman is his only good movie. And I think the reason behind that is, and I know people say, oh yeah, he had, complete direction over it and that was his movie. I really don't believe it. I think there was a lot of studio involvement for Superman, and that is the only reason that movie is good. Because I don't, like I told you, I've watched stuff. I think Love and Trash is good. I didn't like any of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and I know that's going to piss off a lot of people in the comments.
I'm
just
kind of
not
shocked
me.
how you don't like any of the Guardians movies, but you like Love and Trash.
Yeah, I know. I guess it's taste is subjective. I guess it's just not.
But they're
not
very
my thing,
similar,
you know,
though. They're very similar, comedic, goofy, wacky, out of nowhere, funny, bright, colorful.
That's true. And that's what I was going to say. The bright and colorful, that's what I don't like about specifically James Gunn stuff. And I think that's what's really hampering the general audience.
But that
to get
bright and
attached to his
colorful
stuff.
works for Superman, though.
Yes, but I loved Superman. Like I told you, I have even the Superman symbol tattooed on me. I did not like the look of Superman. I liked the movie itself. I thought it was funny.
When you say you don't like the look, are you talking about the suit, or are you talking about the man? I think a lot of it has to do with the suit, bro. A lot of it is the suit.
I think, yes, I agree, but I think that's a James Gunn issue, not a, hey, this is, like, sure, the suit looks a little rubbery, it looks goofy.
Correct.
Everything.
It is a
that
James Gunn issue.
Gunn produces.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
All looks fake.
Do you understand? Do you guys understand? Because this caller is onto something, guys. I want you guys to hear this. Because James Gunn came to Warner Brothers, one of the greatest studios in Hollywood, the greatest. And instead of using the iconic costume designers that DC and Warner Brothers has at their disposal, he chose to bring the MCU costume designers over here. And that's why that suit looks whack. That's why the Justice Gang looks like that. Nigga, you better utilize. What's the point of coming to Warner Brothers if you're not going to utilize the Warner Brothers capital? Using what we have to make the best for this allegiance, loyalty, what they call it, nepotism, that has to stop. Freak that shit. Sometimes you got to get the best because it's what your fans deserve. James Gunn is too focused in making movies that he can have fun and do high fives on the set rather than making moves that the people at home watching it can feel something. And that needs to change.
Yeah, and I think I agree, and I think why people like you and I are, I wouldn't even say necessarily upset, because you're like, hey, you know what, fuck Peacemaker, I cannot watch that, I can still like DCU.
Yes.
The problem is, and this is really why I'm calling in for Peacemaker, I don't think, this stuff clicks for me as a DC fan. It looks cheesy, it looks like Power Rangers outfits, that's fine, comic booky, whatever it may be. If that's his choice, that's his choice. As long as the stories are fine, as long as the jokes are hitting, I'm cool with it. Music aside, which was absolute shit, I don't know how well we're able to set up a DCU with what we have now, because it's too confusing for the general audience. Again, me as a comic book fan, I get it all. Wow. I understand the retcons. I understand that, okay, this is still somehow connected with the Suicide Squad, but what general audience member is ever going to be on board with that? I don't understand how they're saying, hey, let's build our entire
Let me take a minute
universe
and show something on the screen. I'm glad you brought that up. Let me show what James Gunn put on the screen. Let me show it to the viewers right now. It's funny how you said you don't think that the audience will understand it, when I think that James Gunn makes content for the lowest common denominator type of viewer. But it's crazy how you said that, because here's what James said. He says, I'm not expecting people to go into the Superman sequel, Man of Tomorrow, knowing what happened in Peacemaker Season 2's finale. He said, quote, it's a very, very, very delicate balance when writing these things. You've got to be able to tell the story in a way where people that already know the information are not going to be bored, and where people who don't know the information will get the information in an easy and simple way, but also not be burdened down by too much shit. There needs to be an elegance to the storytelling. There's too many mumbo jumbo things, to me, is always a thing that I try to avoid. Yet you saying that you don't think people are going to get it, but he's saying that he's making it simple for people to get. He wants it to be easy for people to understand.
So then he needs to show us that. He's saying one thing, but he's doing another. He's saying,
there you go. Ding, ding, ding. That's
Yeah.
James. He says one thing and does another. You've seen Peacemaker. What do you feel? You've seen the product, and you don't think that audiences are going to be able to absorb it.
Yeah. And again, like, I really dug it. Like, I know a lot of people here like, oh, it was trash. I really didn't like the season finale. I think that it was very much a nothing burger. I don't like, anything. I don't like James Gunn's music taste. I don't like it in any
It's
of his
horrible.
movies, including Guardians.
It's horrible.
I know people love the Guardians of the Galaxy
Nah,
soundtrack. I
it's
really
whack.
that music is just not for me.
It's whack.
Yeah,
There's
it's
like
just
2
not.
songs in the whole
It's
track.
straight up.
It's whack. He has a horrible taste in music.
Yeah. You know, like even the whole thing with like, oh, portals, pocket dimensions, you know, like, oh, what's this doing in Superman? You said that maybe an hour ago or so. Stuff like that. Even that doesn't bother me because, again, me as a DC fan, I know how crazy the comics go. I know all this portal bullshit and, oh, there's a pocket universe here. Or we know that's normal. Like, that's completely acceptable. But how, you know, dude, if I was a Warner Brothers exec, I'd be shitting my britches right now because it's such a high risk. And look, I appreciate a risk, and this is in some ways why I'm like, you know what, let James Gunn cook because he is, like it or not, he's the king of the castle. If what he wants goes, it's fine. As long as it's not offensive to me, that's okay. But is it really going to be this massive success? I don't know. I think James Gunn makes movies that are popcorn friendly. I think James Gunn makes movies that, again, like a huge Superman fan. I went to go see it 3 times. I'm never going to buy the Superman movie. I have no interest in owning it. I think it's good to watch one. I think he makes great.
Because I agree.
Yeah, I think he makes great content that is acceptable at the time, and it's not offensive to forget about it in a year or two. And that's fine.
Can you explain why?
It's okay to make stuff like that.
No. That's serious. I want you to explain why. I want you to explain why and tell me why. Tell me why I watched it twice in theaters and I never seen it again, even though it's on HBO Max. I never clicked it because I didn't want to see it again.
I can explain. I will try to explain it. I think James Gunn makes great movies that look awesome on a big screen. He makes good movies that, you know, the Dolby Atmos bass is going to absolutely bust your balls as you're sitting in the chair. That stuff's super fun. Like Superman, I watched it in 4DX. To me, that was genuine. It was one of the greatest experiences I've had, period. Yeah. I like that stuff. Yeah. I thought it was super, super fun. But and it did. Like for superhero stuff, when I watch it, I want to feel like a kid again.
Yeah.
And he made that happen. He did make me feel like a kid again. But Jody, how can you say, hey, you know, James Gunn goes to me and says, I'm going to make you feel like a kid again, and then turn around and then have Peacemaker fucking in an orgy? I don't think that's good because it hurts the brand. Ultimately, to me, again, you know, say what you will, everyone has their opinions, but to me, it hurts the brand when you're saying this is kid friendly, and the next day I have someone fucking on screen, but also it's actually connected to Superman. As if I was a parent, I would be pissed. Genuinely, I'd be pissed because I know my kid is going to be asking to watch Peacemaker because James Gunn is saying, hey guys, everyone should watch Peacemaker, but P.S., by the way, of course no one under 18 should watch this. Are you guys stupid? But you are making kids watch it. It's purely for the fact that it's a Superman thing. It should be there. Like even
Do you think that that's James' plan? He wants to get little kids to watch something so gory and sexual in nature.
So I told you earlier that as much as I don't like James Gunn and what he does, I've still consumed a lot of the content that James Gunn has made, including Lollipop Chainsaw, which if you haven't played it, it's hard to explain, but it's extremely crass, right? Like you're playing this high school girl, which very much is not 18. And, you know, one of the achievements in game is if you look under her skirt, it gives you an achievement like, oh, haha, you looked under her skirt. This has always been his humor. So I don't think he really has an agenda to say, hey, you know, I want kids to be sexualized. I don't, even though I know what I'm saying right now kind of contradicts it, but I don't think that is his intent. But I do think it's an outcome of what he does. I think it's a byproduct of James Gunn because he's just such a horn dog, which, look, again, fine. If that's what he wants to do, he's the king of the castle, but it's very, very risky, man. I think it's extremely risky. I think, you know, looking just as a value perspective for Peacemaker, all the acting, it's terrible. Like, the character Adebayo adds, you know, she's the black girl in the show. I think her acting is absolutely fucking atrocious, and I don't understand why they chose her. I think same with Harcourt, James Gunn's wife. I think her acting is fucking dry and terrible, and it's surprising. You know, like maybe they chose them because that's what makes Mike Cena stand out. Like Mike Cena's acting is actually good when you compare to everyone there.
Nepotism.
But yeah, you know, nepotism is one thing. It's really like I don't know. Like the show, I thought it was cool. I thought it was funny. Had a lot of laugh out loud moments. But to say like, hey, this is the future of DCU.
How far does laughs and jokes go for you? How far does that work? For me, it's profound writing. It's making me feel emotion. It's making me feel a certain type of way. That's what matters to me. Deep writing moments, intense scenes like that. That's what gets me going. When I watch Thor: Love and Trash, Ragnarok, Guardians of the Galaxy, I eat it, I watch it, I forget it. because nothing resonates with me. It's candy bars, it's Baby Ruth, it's Twix, it's Three Musketeers. I want meat and potatoes, baby. You know, that's what James Gunn is. And is that safe to say? Is Peacemaker just sunshine, rainbows, popcorn, candy?
Yeah, with, the occasional turd in between. And that's the problem. It's not, if it was just your Ruth bar, that would be cool. But,
Damn.
those, hey, I'm going to give you a musical scene for 2 minutes. Fuck you. Like, and I mean that. Fuck you, James Gunn. Like, I don't want that. Like, why? And again, I do respect he's making the show for himself. I think directors should, when they make a project, they need to make it for themselves. They should think about the audience, but they shouldn't go in trying to please everyone. I'm still looking at it as, okay, he's doing his own thing. Let the man cook. I'm going to give him a few more chances. We're going to see where it goes. He makes successful movies, but I think you're absolutely right, Jody. It's just candy bars. That's what we're getting right now. Like, even Superman, we all liked it. It gave me the Saturday morning cartoon kind of feeling, but I don't remember what I've watched it 3 times. I couldn't tell you what the movie's about. Like, I know what happens from beginning to end, but
this guy,
what's the point?
This is the same guy who thinks that the Dark Knight trilogy's whack and Nolan's whack and his writing is whack and Michael Keaton's Batman Returns and Batman sucks. Like, this is the same guy.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Because of the post that the old Facebook post that they discovered about him. He was making blogs about how he thinks that Batman Returns and Michael Keaton's Batman is awful, horrible, terrible. Nolan's Batman Begins is not a good movie, and The Dark Knight is overrated. This is the things that he said.
Interesting. Yeah, it's just the DC comic book universe. There's so much to it. There's so many comics that I don't like, and he's choosing the comics that I don't like. He leans into the goofy of DC that I don't like. And I guess, a point I was trying to make earlier, he's doing all of this adult stuff, like orgies, saying, oh yeah, hey, everyone knows DC is dark and cool, so we can do this stuff. I think he's really missing the mark.
Yep.
DC is adult not because it's ultra violent and ultra sexy. DC is adult because it, like you said, it touches the same emotions that we actually feel as adults.
Serious themes.
Comics like Identity Crisis, which sure, it's a very polarizing comic as it is, but that's adult stuff. It talks about divorce. It talks about, having your significant other dying and the fallout of that and how that can affect you and your friend group. Not, hey, I'm going to kill somebody and have his brains all over you and think that's funny, which again, that exists, but I just don't think that that's DCU at its heart. So we'll have to see where he goes. I'm still interested to see it. I think what you said is right. Like, he's not really the writer for the next movie. He's just in charge of tying those things together. And maybe he's going to do a good job of that. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
We'll have this conversation after Supergirl then. Thanks for calling in, bro.
Hey, absolutely, brother. You have a great weekend ahead.
You too. Great conversation.